For the longest time, I struggled with school motivation. It was really tough for me to do homework, study for tests, and turn my assignments in on time, even if I knew it was for my own good. I was the ultimate procrastinator. But recently, I found a way to stop putting off schoolwork and consistently take action, which is something that my parents thought I would never be able to do. And you know what's crazy? The answer isn't what all of our parents think it is. It's not having more discipline and willpower, but there's a way to trick our brain into actually liking homework, school, and just doing hard things in general, even if motivation doesn't come naturally to you. So to outsmart our brain, we first have to understand how it works. You see, our brains are designed to avoid pain and seek pleasure. So naturally, when we think about homework or studying, our brains associate it with this sucks, this is horrible, this is uncomfortable, and I'm really bored, right? Like that's why we procrastinate and avoid tasks even when we know deep down that they're really important. But here's the kicker. We can actually rewire our brains to change how we feel about schoolwork. You've probably noticed that when you do something you enjoy, whether it's playing video games, scrolling through your favorite creators on social media, or hanging out with friends, your brain releases this chemical called dopamine. It's what makes you feel really good. It keeps you engaged and motivates you to keep doing that activity. But what if I told you that you could tap into the same dopamine reward system for schoolwork and homework? Now, before you roll your eyes and say, yeah, right, Will, there's no way I'm actually going to enjoy homework and get excited to do it, just stick with me. I used to think the exact same thing. But once I started applying these brain hacks, I noticed something amazing. I didn't have to rely on willpower anymore, even though my name is Will. I actually started looking forward to knocking out assignments and feeling accomplished at the end of the day. So how do you do it? Well, the first tip is to use the 2-minute rule. And here's how it works. Trick your brain into thinking that you only have to do a tiny part of the task. For example, don't tell yourself that you've got to finish the entire 8-page essay because that's going to lead to a lot of overwhelm, aka the procrastination. Just say, I have to write 1 paragraph. Or instead of thinking, I've got to do 8 pages of homework and my math, just say, I've got to do 1 problem. And I know it sounds so incredibly simple, but it lowers the pressure and makes it way easier to start, which is the main thing that we struggle in doing, right? Is just getting started. James Clear, the GOAT of all habits, says that lowering the stakes of a task helps kill off negative feelings that make you procrastinate. So you won't feel so overwhelmed, and once you start, you're more likely to keep going. You see, after 2 minutes of doing something, you'll often realize this isn't nearly as bad as what my mind was making it out to be. We also start seeing progress and building momentum, which is one of the biggest drivers of dopamine in our brain. And when we pair this with the second tip, we become unstoppable. The second tip is to create a work environment that you actually enjoy that is away from distractions. Your environment has everything to do with how productive you are. If you're surrounded by video games, notifications on your phone, or even a cluttered desk, you're setting yourself up for failure. So to trick your brain into actually enjoying homework, create a space that you want to work in and only do work in that space. Start by finding a spot that feels comfortable and motivating. It could be a cozy corner with natural light, or you could be a total freak like I am and set up a desk in a basement that has no lights and you are just listening to the same playlist over and over and over again, right? It just like helps me get this tunnel vision on my work. Add little things that make it feel like your own space, whether it's a specific playlist, it's a candle. For me, it's my favorite drink, which is always coffee. It's like, this is my bloodstream at this point. You could even go to a nearby Starbucks and use that as your environment. And when you complete 30 minutes of homework, get a frappuccino, get a snack, or a latte, which leads me to number 3. Our brains love rewards. So let's use the reward as a way to hack the system. One of the easiest ways to make studying more enjoyable is by creating a reward that gets you excited to finish an assignment or a block of time. So say you finish that first page of your essay, you get a snack. When you finish the math homework, you get to watch an episode of your favorite TV show guilt-free. The key is to set clear goals and have a reward that makes it feel worth it in the end. This taps into your brain's natural dopamine cycle, which makes the process of working towards something feel way more enjoyable because suddenly you're not just doing homework, you're working towards that reward waiting for you at the finish line. For me, my favorite was, yes, at Starbucks, a white chocolate mocha. It was like 1,000 calories just to finish a couple of math problems, but it was something that got me starting, which, going back to number one, is the most important thing. And the last tip here, but certainly not the least, is to take some pressure off of yourself to be perfect. I know it's such a life coach thing to say. I probably sound really cheesy and cringe for saying it, but chat, you've got to stop aiming for perfection right out of the gate. Your first draft doesn't need to be a masterpiece, and your math problems don't need to be solved like you're freaking Einstein. Just start. Allow yourself to make mistakes and keep the flow going. The pressure to be perfect is what paralyzes us most in life, especially when it comes to our homework. It's what keeps us stuck staring at this blank screen. The goal is not perfection, it's progress, which is what you need to focus on first. So pick one of these tips and try it when you're sitting down to do your homework today. You don't need to wait until the perfect moment. Just start for 2 minutes. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the subscribe button below for more tips to help you be more motivated, focus better, and become truly unstoppable from the inside out. And the more I say that little tagline there, it sounds a little cringe, but that's what I help you do. So good luck, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.